Alright guys, got a little bit of advice if anybody's doing the Zeta RSE reed valve. This is the 40 millimeter because this is the Zeta. I got a Zeta 80. Gotta clean it up a little bit more. I got round sandpaper. I gotta do some rougher to clean this up pretty good, but got the third transfer port in. Measured it out. It's pretty good. Here's the issue with the RSE reed valve. It does have carbon fiber reeds, but it would go like this, and when it goes in there, the reed on top was not opening. I don't know, not even a millimeter, probably less than 5% of what it could open. 5 to 10% was only open about like that, and I got it to where it opens like that now. So it's only open like that, and now it's open like straight out like that. But so you're gonna have to port if you're getting that, or it ain't gonna do much of anything really. But I had to take a bunch off of the it would be the top. I got it upside down, but I took off about 3 millimeters in there, because when these reeds go in, the port goes down, but the reed wants to go straight still. Kind of a design flaw on one of the parts. I don't know if it's the motor or the reed valve, to be honest, but so you gotta bring this down a bunch. Can't do as much as you probably would want, but you can see mine is pretty much, it's kind of flat. You want it flat as possible. This is like a you can see it's pretty flat in there though. You want it flat all the way across if you could get it, but it's pretty flat about halfway, and then it slopes back up. I might be able to go down a little more, but I got it pretty close in the corners, because this, I thought, measured out, and this was like, let me see, I think it's around 17 millimeters wide. Oh, it's like 18. Probably right at 18. 18 millimeters. So you can do it a few different ways, but you got to make sure it's pretty flat, 18 millimeters across, so when it opens up, it lays flat in there. I didn't want to go for the window piston option, so I went with the third transfer. I'm gonna try that out. This is my first reed valve. I didn't want to get a piston all unbalanced with a big hole in the side. I did do the piston skirt mod and piston port skirt edge trimming before up on top for the exhaust and fuel ports on my other bike, but I didn't want to have a big hole in the piston, so I wanted it a little more balanced. So I mean, it might help it if you take a little bit out, but I just don't like how unbalanced the piston itself would be. But another thing, brand new, brand freaking new reed valve. Can't remember which bolt it was, but this one would not. I'm pretty sure it was this one. It would not go through at all. It would go about that far. Actually, it was up a little more. It was up in there about that far, and it would stop. So I screwed it in, but I didn't like it because it would screw into this, didn't have to screw into that. So I went and got a drill bit and drilled it out about 3/4 of the way through on both of them. You see, this is a 6.4 millimeter bit. You probably can't see it. It was right around 6.4 or 6.3 millimeters when I measured it. So I had to drill those out. Another reason, when I just had the one drilled out a little bit so the bolt slid through, it would not line up, so I had to drill them out even more. And right now I probably should drill them all the way through because it's kind of rough getting them. I got to start them little by little and just work the reed valve after I get them started up flush, and then snug them up that way. But it'll work like that. That's fine. But gotta clean it up a little bit. Ain't gonna do much more to the intake. You don't want it super polished or anything, but I went over this. My sandpaper's in bits and pieces, and it's really crappy. So I'm gonna get some 80 grit or 40 grit. Go over it again and smoothing it out more. I mean, it's pretty shiny where it don't look like shit, but definitely gotta get those spots out. I ain't gonna lie, it was shitty. But sandpaper will make it better. Opened up pretty big. I went about 2 millimeters high, 2 to 3, and went about 5 millimeters wide. Went a little more on this side, but on the well, about the same. It's got that slant to it, but that's a couple problems you're gonna run into with the RSC reed valve, and any reed valve that goes in here more than likely. The best one gets the shaped like a Dorito funnels out. It's for it's like $60, somewhere around through there. It's for 32 or 40 mil intake. Intake. But yeah, this is the 40, so I don't know if they all have that problem where you gotta drill these out. Oh, another thing, probably didn't mention it, but the gaskets, I took it apart. There's 2 gaskets in here, one on each side, the cage in there. Well, I took the screws was loose to start off, took it apart. Both the gaskets was on the outside here between the where the carb goes on and the cage in there. So I had to pull the cage out, put I think the square one went in first, and then the other odd shaped one went in the other way. What, Diesel? Oh, stretch it out then. Alright. But you gotta do a little work when you get these revalves. They're not perfect, that's for damn sure. And you gotta definitely do some port work. You see how it's pretty straight in there. It's kind of hard to get it because, like I said, it's straight, pretty straight, and then it tapers back down about halfway through, which this only goes about 1/4 of the way. It only goes like that far, about as long as the studs. About a finger width in there. And only goes about 1/3 of the way in there, but I got it about halfway, and then it starts tapering back down a little bit. But when it went third transfer, I'm gonna show y'all a run video, see how it does. Might have to jet the carb, and I'm probably gonna port the stock NT carb because I've done that a couple times before and got pretty good results. But there it is. Look out for future videos. Like, share, and subscribe. Later.